What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for a very special episode. Happy birthday to us here at Rebels with a Cause. Yes, sir. 1 year. 1 year the show has been on the air. We actually had a dream last year at this time. It was on a Wednesday night. 26 fell on a Thursday, obviously, because Christmas was yesterday. But we had a dream. We made it happen. And 55 episodes later, a few live shows covering numerous sports for West High School. We have arrived at 1 year. Couldn't have done it without your all support and love. Shout out to everybody that has supported us, whether they were our own families, whether they were former Rebel players, whether they're administration, like our great athletic director, Paul Romero. Shout out to Chris Carruthers, Dr. Spees, Coach Lamar Brown, Coach E, everybody that has supported us in this endeavor along the way. We couldn't have done it without you or our 76 subscribers that always, check us out and always support us, whether they're watching live or recorded. Got to give a shout out to Mr. Chris Smith. Got a shout out to Jamie Farley. The list goes on and on and on. And I hope that the chat box tonight really shows up. Definitely show us some love. We got so much to kind of talk about what's going on. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I want to bring that up, and also got to do the tagline. I mean, here we already into the show, a minute 41, and I still haven't even done the show tagline, because you know what time it is. It's the cause, baby, and that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. And hopefully we have a lot of our sports teams wanting to play through that and even play after that the clock hits zero. Shout out to our West High boys basketball team. We're going to talk about them. They won another holiday tournament classic, the Heritage Invitational, for the second year in a row. Devin Martin wins the tourney MVP. Shout out to him. We'll talk about that once I bring my co-host on. Want to give a shout out to our guy Shane McGee, the stats guy, our coach. Feeling a little under the weather tonight. Hated to miss the 1 year, but I understand when you get sick, you ain't feeling good to go live on camera. But he'll be back next week, and I'm sure he'll bring all the stuff that he normally brings to the show and all his opinions, because there's a lot going on right now in sports. But as always, want to just thank all the subscribers. Thank everybody that has been on the show. You can't say enough about that. But we do have some housekeeping that I always got to make sure that we tend to. The views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. These are solely the RWAC crew's views and opinions, whether that's myself, the Italian Stallion, two-pair Tate, Brian Tate, and the coach stats man himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac. Also, remember, join that chat, baby. Live, recorded. Please point out when we have inaccurately said something in air, as well as voice your opinions. This is also your all show. You all are rebels with a cause. You got your cause on a daily basis. We got ours. And the main thing is just showing each other love and respect and talking all things sports. So definitely get out there if you want your opinions heard and drive the conversation in the chat box. We love talking it all. Also got to give some love to my gals, Miss Kim Castle and Miss Rachel Davis. They're at the King's Chamber off of Washington Pike. I actually was just there a couple of hours ago. They made sure that they take care of your boy, the Italian Stallion, with, the shave, the waxes, haircuts, massages, the pedicures, manicures. Go hit them up. Tell them Rebels with a Cause sent you. They'll take care of $20 off your final bill. And you also get to enjoy tasty beverages while you're there. So it's a good time, and listen to some good music while you're waiting to get you done up, because they'll definitely show you the royal treatment there and treat you like the king you deserve to be. Also want to give a shout out to one of our fellow class mates and alumni, class of 2003, Mr. Alex Thatcher and his Knoxville Coffee Company there off of Sutherland Avenue. The best brew right there, made in the heart of Marble City. Go pay him a visit. It's good any time of the day, especially now during the wintertime. Keeps you nice and warm and gets you going on a busy, cold day. Also got to give a shout out to my boy, Two Pair Tate's Big Fact Sports Network. Follow the 332 Studios brand. They're doing a lot of exciting stuff there. So if you want to show some love like you do here to him, make sure that you get him taken care of over there. Doing a lot of exciting things, and big year for them coming up. I really sense it. Also, it's still stuff going on with the holidays. Family's still in town. If you got any electrical needs, even though he's a little under the weather, he'll still make sure you get taken care of one way or another. Reach out to our coach, the stats man himself, Shane McGee. He will make sure that all your electrical needs are met so you don't have any troubles as we close out these holidays and get into that winter season, those dreary days in January. So, but without further ado, I want to bring on my co-host tonight. He started this with me last year. I can't thank him. I mean, when I was thinking about this, I was like, I wonder if he would do it with me. I was honored that he didn't laugh at the idea. He thought it was amazing. We've got a lot of special things planned for this upcoming year. This is only the beginning. We've reached a lot of people, and we've made it be known that we are the predominant podcast show that covers West High and all the other people. Just remember, we started it first, baby. Don't hate us because we came up with it first. You may not like us, but like these babies behind us, we in the conversation in any sport, in any game. Just remember that because it's always about the W. But that being said, let me bring him on with a proper introduction. He is and will forever be immortalized as Mr. 2003 West. He is now in his 19th year. That's almost a generation, people, of being the voice of the running Rebels and Lady Rebels. He is also doing some magical things on the microphone. And that's what he's been doing for 20 something plus years. You give him a mic, he entertains you, and he knows what he's talking about, baby. My brother, my favorite Florida State Seminole, the one, the only two-pair Tate, Brian Tate. What is up, baby? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. It's so different to have this whole new setup. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Very
on my
professional,
headset
very
now.
professional.
You know what I mean? It's funny
We've come a
because
long way, brother.
you're
We have
still
come a long
using the
way.
headset that we first bought. I'm actually using a PlayStation headset, new mic, new webcam, new everything. Just what I mean, dedicate way more. I feel like it's a better sound with this microphone
It
too,
is.
and you know what I'm saying. It's such a better sound with this microphone, and
Yeah,
I'm honored and blessed to do this with what I'm saying, one of my classmates from your class of '02, but I really what I'm saying, we've had a bond since the days of cracking on Bryce Solomon, um,
mm-hmm.
the Dan Morgan haircut and number 44 Miami jersey. I would see you
Yeah.
wear in the
We
hallways
parted
and
in the
give
middle
you
when I
total
had hair.
shit about it. Yeah, I do remember doing that. But nah, man, like for as much you've put in, I mean, from the first championship till now, like I think what I mean. I want people to really know like you've given your blood, sweat, tears, time to help mold men. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's powerful because what I'm saying, when kids are calling you the Italian stallion and not calling you by your real name, you've touched the nerve. Like you know what I mean? Like people call you Stallion. They don't. I don't think any of the kids call you James. Has any of the kids
No, they
ever
don't.
called you by your real name?
No, no, they call me Stallion. They call me Stallion. Or
Italian,
I've
yeah, Italian
yeah, or
stallion.
I've even been called Mr. Freeman, which is my dad's name. But I'll take it. So I'll take it. But for sure, but Stallion has been the respect that they've given me for
Right,
sure.
right.
So and
But
honestly,
that's
like
that's what I'm saying. I felt like,
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. And honestly, I want to
nah,
give a
man,
shout
you've
out to
done
Paul
so much.
Romero.
Like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to give a shout out to Paul Romero because he said we should get a smash cake to commemorate the 1 year happy birthday. But instead, I got this lovely
And
piece of fudge cake from Food City or whatever, and I'm gonna go on ahead and do
he's
this on
phenomenal.
air.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Get in there. Get in there. Get in there.
I think
Get in there.
I'm having my cake and eating it too for all our haters out there that want to be us but can't be us. So simple
But
as
I'm gonna
that.
say this. I'm gonna say this. I really think the West High faculty, Principal Carruthers, Principal Forrester, Principal Spees, Principal Romero, all the faculty, Celeste White, who does a phenomenal job there. Like this school is just it's near and dear to my heart. It helped me on a path to get to college, to go in the communications field. I mean, it started my friendship with you. You know what I'm saying? Shane, I've known Shane since sixth grade. You know what I mean? Like, I've known you since 2000. Like, I've known you
Mm,
for 24 plus years of my life. And a big part of my life is consisted with you in it, like, far as, you know what I'm saying, West football, basketball, baseball. Like, we've kind of um put our school to the forefront, but we cover other schools with the same passion. Like the scrimmage at Catholic really was an eye-opening experience for me this year. That
mhm,
the opposing school welcomed us on their field. Gibbs, their opposing school, welcomed us on their field. Jeff County, like all these schools welcomed us. This Bearden,
mm.
we did a pregame
Bearden,
game day
Bearden.
show from Bearden. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of groundbreaking things that a podcast of three people
Hmm.
are doing, and it's
Yeah,
probably
and can I
like,
throw this out there? And can
yeah,
I throw
throw that
this out
out
there?
there.
Tin, tin roof. If we had gotten to the state championship, was going to give us permission to set up our little area right there outside of the Chattanooga Stadium before a potential West versus Page
Wow,
three-peat. I mean, had we
man,
gotten there,
we would have had
we
it.
had permission with tin roof right there. Like, we could have had appetizers and drinking beer right there as we were previewing the game. It would have been a true game day championship feel. Next year. Next year I've already
Yeah,
got it.
I
Remember,
feel like
3 out of 4. That is the slogan. 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4.
So
3 out of 4 is
yeah,
our
for
slogan.
sure.
But nah,
For
man, like
sure.
it's just
And preach, brother. Preach,
nah. I'm
preach.
saying, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying, it's a
and I
testament.
think yeah.
No, what did you say? My
And
bad.
look
What
at
did you say?
look at my life. Well, no, I was just going to say, I think it molded both of our lives because you talk about me. I got kicked out of Beard and I didn't have any direction. And shout out to Mr. Ken Green for giving me that opportunity to come to West. And, I used that opportunity. I want to give a shout out to Gene Singley Bailey, who was the West Wind newspaper, let me give my opinions on paper and got me in the communications field, and what I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do. And so we're both being able to utilize our communications and our knowledge of sports and everything about West. And if we can give back to the school that gave us so much, that's what the whole cause is all about. That's what people don't understand about the show, why
Mm-hmm.
it's called Rebels with a Cause. Because we do have a cause. And if we can reach young men and women to make sure that they carve out their path, and don't forget where you came from. And you came from that little school there on 3300 Sutherland Avenue that has
Mm-hmm.
put out beasts. I mean, can I tell you a quick story? I was at the mall
Oh
the other
man,
day.
just let's
And
hear
who
it.
do I
Let's
run
hear
into
it.
decked out? Yeah, who do I run into decked out in all their West stuff just like me? Coach Petco. Gave each other a hug,
Oh,
wished
that's
each other a
awesome.
Merry
That's awesome,
Christmas,
man.
I,
That's awesome.
and I just got
My
chills
coach.
because it was like, we got to get him, Lindsay, your coach. We got to get him, Lindsay, the boys from that district championship, Dr. Mike Morrow now. I mean, we got to get
Mm-hmm.
them all there for that night against Farragut coming up very soon, and honor
And
that team.
then
And hopefully that juju can rub up on our boys. So, yeah.
for all the alumni games, for the West High alumni game, we're working on it. So if we were to do it at West, there's a lot of insurance that we would have to take out,
Mhm.
being on school property, being on Knox County property. So we will be looking at other avenues. The great people over in Emerald Youth. We've talked you know what I'm saying, in discussions with them. But I want to give big props to Shauna McKinney and everything with the Alumni Foundation that people are doing. Miss Martin, um, uh, Jack Keefe's mom, Gina Birch, Jaleese Strong, Shonda Jones, you mothers, Kara Lee. I'd be remiss if the Dupree family, the Schuler family, um, you know what I'm saying, Sharetta Littlejohn, the Jack family. It just we are truly thankful for you guys as parents, the way you are so involved with your children's choices and decisions, what they do at West High School. And it's a testament to our great faculty and Coach Carruthers, Principal Forrester, who I absolutely love, Dr. Spees, Principal Spees, and you know what I'm saying, and there's you can't brag enough about Paul Romero. If we were in school, he's the guy I would have been right next to his office every day, just soaking up knowledge and game. And it's just like Paul is a brother. Like he's got an understanding of young minds, and he is such a diverse personality. And really, you won't find a better athletic director in the state of Tennessee than Paul Romero. And it's like I'm scared he might get a big college job the way he's turned. He's made this as an alumni. I just saw Michael Lynn at the mall with his family tonight,
Yeah.
and it's gotten to the point like guys like Michael Lynn are still coming back, like Big O, Michael Morrow, like guys are coming
Mm,
back into the alumni, like the alumni. I'll say this: the young alumni, like the young Devonis's, the young Rico, Sean. We saw them at the Bearden game and the Fulton game at Bearden. Like to see those young guys, like Devonis isn't that removed from 2015, 2016 when he was at West. You know what I'm saying?
And the
Sean,
same could be said for Cottrell and Perry when they were on
yeah,
the show. They were there. So yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're
Noah
10 years
Hoxie, all those
removed.
guys,
Noah Hoxie.
they're only 10.
Um,
Yeah,
and it's
Seth
so
Marshall.
cool. Like we're interviewing the James Mills, the David Dradas, the Parker Dubons, the Jalen Hills, the Devin Martin. Like they already have media training because of Rebels with a cause. Like how many interviews do we have of Jack Keefe, of Hayden Lee, of Stephen
Mhm.
Johnson, of Antoine
Jeez.
Burdine, Antarius McAllister, like with the list goes on, Dominique Davis. These guys have media training thanks to Rebels with a cause, just
Mhm.
interviewing these guys with our telephone. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm. And I
it's
want to give a
it's an
shout out
honor.
to Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to all the West football coaches for giving us that access, especially Mr. Scott Shavers, Coach Lamar Brown. We
The
think the
Godfather.
world of them, and they think the world of us. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And so, anything that we can do to get those guys the publicity that they've earned, and we'll continue to do this as long as they allow us to. And I've always said that, and so forth. And we always mean it with all love and everything and respect. And you mentioned the ladies that have helped with this alumni foundation and all
Yeah,
the
man.
work. The one thing that I've noticed from year to year of me being involved these last few years is
Mm,
you hate to see these kids graduate because their parents, unless they got younger siblings, they're going to go too. And then you
mm,
wonder, well, who's going to carry the mantra? And let me tell you, man, every year they just manage to find a group of parents,
yeah.
husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, they do so much. Even the siblings, they're always involved, and it really shows that we are one West. And I can't thank that enough, especially with us, doing this thing that we've been doing it for 1 year. So happy birthday to us. And it's just been an amazing ride. And we've got so many exciting things
We
in the
won a
works that we
championship
will
within
start
this
to
year.
reveal. Yes,
We
we did. We did.
we
We've
won a we
competed.
won
We've
a
competed.
we won a state championship within this time frame. We went to a
Hmm.
ring ceremony where you got your
Yes.
ring, you got to like I'm taking pictures of you. I'm holding the trophy. Like it was a surreal moment because it's just like I'm looking at the investment of your time, James.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
that was an investment and a testament to your time as a like I don't know if you really see yourself as a mentor to the youth of like you're showing them from your experiences of going through the fires of UT, going through the fires of working at news stations, and now you're giving back the knowledge and information of, hey, I was an outside linebacker, I was a middle linebacker, I played
Hmm.
under Coach Rayleigh, I played under, you know what I mean? Like you have those stories that are beneficial to the next kids coming up because they don't understand like West was the laughing stock. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And then we had I mean, the most successful year was your sophomore year. My freshman year was the most successful
Hmm.
year of football we ever had,
Yeah. I mean,
ever.
like other than the '94 team that reached it, but yeah, we hadn't gotten to the playoffs since that '94 team, and we get bounced like a drum by Cleveland, who was a powerhouse at the time. And you think that you'll be back the next year with who we
Then
were
you'll be
bringing
back
back,
and you never get back.
and you never get back. And
We
then
never
there
got
had to be
back.
change. There had to be culture. Shout out to Coach Cummings for building something along with Scott Shavers. And Scott
Hmm.
Shavers, realistically, the Godfather, as we like to call him, really has him and Lamar together. And that coaching staff, the sky's the limit of what they want to do. I mean, to have
And I
140
love the age
something
gap.
kids signed up.
I love the age gap
Yeah.
between the men. Like, bruh, Rod
Hmm.
Ellerby. Like, Rod Ellerby
Yeah.
is on this staff. Like, if he's not one of the
Coach Brooks.
sharpest minds, Coach
Yep.
Chad Brooks, who's got probably the best beard in Knoxville. I'm going.
Hmm.
I'm on board, bro. Chad Brooks is a basketball coach and a football coach at West High School. He's
Yep.
he's the real two pair.
Yeah, no, he is.
He's the real
And,
two
and,
pair.
and when he wants to, he's very sharply dressed too. By the way, I
Oh
was like,
man.
man, he
Oh
was
man.
like the
Oh
other day.
man. Best dressed coach in Knoxville.
Definitely.
Best dressed coach. But no, I'm serious, man. This coaching staff, you know how I feel about Rod Ellerby. I just think
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
I just think he's one of the sharpest minds, offensive minds I've ever like come into contact with. Just to hear him talk about football. But one thing I love about Coach Brown is he said he's not in it to win state championships. He said he's in it for more than that. And when you hear that coming from a winner and a leader of men, it's like
Hmm.
it's for the greater good and it's more than winning championships. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'm really thankful that we got that opportunity to have 15, 20 minutes of his time of, you
Hmm.
know what I mean,
In the
getting that
middle of a
across
season, while he's
in the
preparing to
middle
take
of a
a Wonder
season.
One miracle,
And get
yeah. I
this,
mean,
get this though, Stallion. He is doing an interview every week with the goal to go with
hmm.
Fields.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every week it was on IG. And it was to the point I don't know how Lamar Brown does it, but please share your information because a coach like that is the kind of guy that you want every kid in Knoxville to be a part of just the work that that group puts into those young men is why they are one of the best sports football programs in the state of Tennessee that is competing for titles. The team that they lost to won state
Yes.
because had that team lost, I don't think West was going to lose. I think West was going to win the state title
No,
if
we
they
were
would
going
have
to lose
got
that
past
game.
Sevier County.
No, the winner of that game, I think we said it best. We said that one of Powell, Sevier County, or West was going to bring back the gold ball.
Mm.
Unfortunately, it wasn't us, but at least it was the team we lost to. And truth be told, we would have won it again. I,
And
I,
how
I have no doubt in my mind that we would have won again.
and
So
how
no doubt.
classy was it of us as that Sevier County comes into West and we showed them the
Mm,
gratitude of them winning the state title. Now,
absolutely.
in us covering other schools, we just want to say we don't speak disrespectfully to
No.
any other school. That's just we're not like that. Rebels with a Cause, like Rebels with a Cause, is one of the most diverse shows for young men and women about sports and talking about high school, because you know what I'm saying, we feel like y'all deserve to have a light shed on you, because we came up in the era where there was inside perspective on Knoxville Community Media, which was CTV. That's what me and James grew up with,
Channel
and we
12. Yep.
we felt like there was a void missing from that. Like, I love, we commend Mark Packer every episode. We like, Mark Packer is the godfather of high school sports, I think, and we love Rivalry Thursdays. And our goal is to get a Friday night
Hmm.
hoops, because we know how much effort it takes. But if three men can do it, I think we can get the city on board with a lot of sponsorship through Rebels with a Cause. Y'all can follow it on YouTube. I really do feel like we could do that, James. I think we could set a
I
standard in
think
that.
so too. I think so too. No, and I'd love to cover it because we talked about some sexy matchups that could definitely happen with the rivalries that naturally are on the schedule. And then even if it's not on the schedule, we can, help a couple of teams maybe fill their schedule with that game, that aren't in the
Hmm.
same conference or division and they want to measure up of where we stand, because remember,
Yeah.
we always have preached on this show, iron sharpens iron, baby. That's what it all about. And
Think
so,
about a
with
Think
West,
about a Central Pal. Think about a Corns Hardin
yes,
Valley. Think, you know what I'm saying? Those type of matchups. Catholic Webb. Um. What's another one? Central Halls. West Bearden. Uh.
yes,
You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Catholic
Farragut, Bearded,
West.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
Farragut,
we.
Hardin Valley, I mean, you've got so many different ones you could do. I mean, so for sure, for absolutely sure, And, speaking of which, we weren't going to cover it on this show tonight. That's going to be a separate one for next because I want Shane involved in that. But we will, it was released last week and we'll talk more in depth about it. We just have so much to get to in such a little time in this episode. But with Shane being our football guy, there is the schedule has been released officially for West football. I'm sure you can look it up. It's been out there. We will preview it in full next week. The dates, the teams that were on our schedule.
It's a
It
lot
is
of good
another
teams.
loaded schedule, not a loaded, a lot of loaded teams coming up, and definitely get us prepared because I'm gonna say it right now too, Pair. Okay, and I could be completely wrong. I really
Mm.
believe that West and Sevier County will meet next year in the second or third round, and the winner of that game will win state. I'm putting that in there for 5A right now. I am making that prediction on December 27th of 2024 that next year at this time, either Sevier County's going back to back or West is doing their 3 out of 4. And I'm putting it out there right now. So, yeah.
And here's what I really like. I like the young guys that are really, they are in that weight room. The Reeskis, the Dales. This class is serious. Like,
Yeah. And
it
can I tell you
is.
this? What did Coach
Mhm.
say? Coach had to keep them away from the weight room. They were ready to get in there right off the bat, and Coach Brown had to literally, like, hold a chain to a dog's throat and be like, "Boys, rest up, enjoy the holidays. As soon as we get back from winter break, you'll have access to get in there." So I
I think
can't
this is
wait to
going to
see the
be,
games.
but
I can't wait to
I
see them.
look at it. I look at guys like a JP Peace, like
Hmm.
just the growth from sophomore to junior year,
Hmm.
like the
Yep.
growth. Like I think that's what I'm more excited about is the growth of guys, man. Like it was truly cool to watch how they developed spring through
Mm,
summer through fall to like
mm,
they were like knocking on
hmm.
the door,
Yep.
and we saw that all in 1 year, man. And dude, I'm glad. I'm glad. Like the carpool, the Jeff County, the you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
the
that was fun.
Perkins.
The
Like,
road
come on,
the road
man.
trips to Perkins, breakfast, I mean,
Gibbs,
that's what's been and you mentioned the Catholic being fed by the Catholic people.
the
That was very
Catholics,
special
yeah,
too. And look at the process too, Pear. Here we're celebrating a year of this show. And the thing is, look how quick it went. I mean, think about this. These seniors that are on this special basketball team right now, this month is going to fly by of January. And then the
yeah,
February where you start getting to the tournaments. And I mean, and then March, hopefully you're there going up against the best of the best in Murfreesboro. I mean, the
mm,
point of it is that my goodness, it's going to be a very special couple months, and it goes by so fast. I mean, think about this. There's probably some seniors that maybe they graduated early. They're done with West, and then maybe there's some that do have that spring semester, and everything. But it's just crazy to me that we are already halfway through the school year and we just celebrated Christmas. The New Year is
mm,
5 days away or 4 days away,
yeah,
whatever it is. And it's just like it just goes by so fast. And the one thing that we always try to tell the kids, whether they're, in the guy sports, the girl sports, whatever, it's like enjoy it because it goes by so dang fast. And the next thing you realize is you miss those days. You didn't
you
appreciate
do.
them back then. But man, I mean, I would love to have one more shot to go out there and catch a pass from somebody. And I
Oh
understand the
man,
insurance and everything involved because that's all we need is a bunch of old people tearing ACLs and breaking
dude,
ankles or something like that, thinking
I'd
they're
I'd
still
give
15 or 16. So
I'd give anything to hit another buzzer beater shot against Webb. Yeah, I
yep,
had a buzzer beater
that's
against
right.
Webb. Oh man, it was nasty. And like
Yep.
the I can go back to a lot of just my favorite memories of being at West. Like you know what I'm saying, knocking down a bunch of clutch free throws against Corns.
Hmm.
Man, one of my best games was against Central, where you know what I'm saying. I come off the bench and I help us get a much needed win. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I really I wasn't like the greatest or anything, but when
No,
I
neither was
played it, I was really good. Like at West, and of course West Beard, you know what I'm saying.
I
West
mean,
Beard and legend.
we played with heart. No, we played with heart. Yeah, no, we played with
But
heart, and
I
that's
really
the
wish
one
I
thing. If
never
you
broke
got
my
heart,
wrist that senior year. That's my senior year. I wish I didn't break my left
that's
wrist
what
because
messed you
man, it was like right before the Farragut scrimmage, and that was the Farragut brawl. My senior year. So yeah, man,
up. Yeah,
I
yeah. Well,
missed out. Like
yeah, and it's just unfortunate because a lot of the guys we have talked to, a lot of their careers were ended by injuries, and things
yeah,
that just happen, and so forth. And realistically, a lot of our guys are lucky that they didn't suffer major injuries this past year.
but West
And
turned me into a basketball player. Like West
that's
turned me into a like I was a hooper, but I learned the game of basketball by playing it
mm,
year under Petco and Lindsay. Like that summer, my going into my sophomore summer, I think I got a little bit better, but I think it was like really heading into like the next year through AAU and West. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Coach Pecco, man, was a saving grace. Like very thankful and blessed I got to play under Coach Pecco, man. Like I learned a lot of life lessons,
That's-
and just really, man, learning how to be a guard and learning that it's not about me scoring a whole bunch of points. It's how can you make everyone better? Like what do you do
Mhm.
defensively? You know what I'm saying? Just learning the game. Like
Yep.
I was honored to play up against like a T Map, Alton Thompson, Spencer Davis, Michael Maddox, Stephen Harmon, Jordan Smith, Aaron Kyle, Keith Brown. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Those Andy Lane, like these dudes really could hoop, man. Like,
Stewart Oaks.
you
So
know,
yeah, I mean, and these
Stu
guys need
Oaks. Stu
these guys need
Oaks.
to
You know
show
what
up.
I'm saying? My guy.
These guys need to show up in honor of the team that did get it
Yeah,
done
yeah.
25 years ago,
Mike
you know?
Morrow, man. Like
Dr.
this
Mike Morrow now. Dr. Mike
Bubba
Morrow.
Chris Childress from
Yeah,
3.
there
Like
you go.
there are so many unsung guys throughout that class of 2000 district team. That is one of the most unsung group of basketball players. But I just look at from that freshman group, like our group, you know what I'm saying? Chad Davis, who just celebrated a birthday, um, Darius Jones, Spike McCamey, Rand Thomas,
Wow.
Michael Courtney, Isaac Wilson. There was a lot of guys.
Did you mention B Bell already? I don't know if
Beat
I heard B.
Brandon
Yeah.
Bell, Kashra, Talib Hagipour, Stephen Rutherford, phenomenal dudes, man. Alan Wallace, Todd Love, Ben Oberman,
Uh-huh.
like these were
Did you
really
mention
good dudes.
Alex Kravanaugh too? I mean, did you mention him?
Alex Cravanis, I played with
Cravanis.
Cravanis. I played with
Yeah,
Cravanis my sophomore year.
yeah.
My
So
sophomore
Alex,
year, I played with Cravanis.
big Alex.
Brian
Yeah.
Stanford, you know what I'm saying? Kill Dog. AB, who I think is the toughest dude I ever seen on the court. Larry Williford, Amos Colbert, Sekou Tyler. Like our basketball program has produced some guys, man. Like Philip Tukey Stanford,
I even
Jawan Williams, Jay
I even
Mitchell, Calvin Walker.
I even give love to Thomas Moore. To Thomas Moore, even though he was there that one year,
One
I gave
year,
love to
one
Thomas Moore
year, one
before
year.
he
That's my dog.
transferred. So
That's my
yeah,
dog,
so
Thomas Moore, man.
yeah, for
Brian
sure. So no,
Griffith.
I mean, oh
You
my
know what I'm
God, yeah,
saying?
yeah, no,
With
yeah, and then got to give a shout out to the milkman, Chris Smith
Chris
Jr., who was
Smith.
yep,
You see what I'm
yep,
saying? Like, look at the
Carson
list of
Brooks, yep, Carson
Carson
Brooks,
Brooks, Calvin
yep,
Walker,
yep, Calvin Scott
Jarrell
Walker, so
Davis,
yep, yeah,
Devonis Clark. Like, even the new guy, like Shandell Willis
mm-hmm,
of the new era. Like,
mm-hmm,
Shandell is probably what now? He's been out of school almost 10 years.
mm-hmm,
Shandell Willis was one of the better guards in the area. You know what I'm saying? He was always having battles with Kentel Williams at Fulton.
yep.
That's what I'm saying. We cover high school sports in a way that it's different. We're the media. We are the first take. but
We are, and we remember
it,
a lot of guys. I mean, Stephen Pearl played a year
Stephen
at Wofford.
Pearl,
Okay,
Stephen Pearl.
Latif Michael. I can even name a couple. I'll name drop a little bit and so forth. So
I mean, even now, look at a guy like Dre Matthew,
mhm,
who was a phenomenal player
yep,
at at Central.
hmm
How phenomenal is it now that he's an assistant coach at Austin East?
yep, yep. Look at that.
Like, how phenomenal is that? Like, let's go deeper because we got a 1 year anniversary, and I
Hmm
don't think you guys understand how good we are at our jobs. I
hmm
really don't. And this is a message to everyone in Knoxville. Check this out. Jazz Kimber, who was an all everything guard in Austin East, class of 99, want to say.
hmm
I want to say he's 99. He was KIL player of the year with
Probably.
Jennifer Simpson. Correct?
Hmm
At Bearden.
Who was that beard? Yep, yep,
Is
yep.
at Bearden. Check this out. Jazz is gonna have twin boys with Denotra, and those twin boys are gonna go to Fulton High School, and
and go back to back.
it gets better. Their assistant coach is my first cousin, who's now the head coach at Knoxville Preparatory.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
it
This
grows.
basketball thing in Knoxville, you see that the 6 degrees of separation.
Hmm.
Jazz played in an era at Austin Nice. His sons go learn under Jody Wright, whose
Hmm.
assistant coach wins 2 state titles with. He goes to Knoxville Preparatory and he's the head man.
Yep. Yep.
It's a beautiful thing, man, like to
It is.
watch.
It is. And we've
It
seen a
is
lot of
really
great
beautiful to
coaches.
watch.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of great coaches, to go through the different programs, or people rose through the
Mm-hmm.
ranks that were once players that became assistants. I mean, there's as rich of a foundation for football in the area
Mm-hmm.
as there is basketball. And realistically, I really believe that as this area continues to grow, you might see more big gold balls come back here, like you've seen. I mean, look, you had Fulton and Alcoa bring one back last year and so forth, and you've got some power teams this year. Alcoa's looking strong again. They just won that big tournament that Five Star Preps put on last week, the Hammer Hardwood tournament and so forth. And speaking of tournaments, our West Rebels, I wanted to get to it and so forth for sure,
Let's get
is
to
that
it, man.
tournament for the second year in a row. I mean, they really have won it in the second year in a row. And Devin Martin was named tournament MVP, had some big wins over Tennessee Heat and Boyd Buchanan along the way. And truth be told, this is all being done two pair without Reese Clark, one of the best players, not just in the city, but the state. And this team is just going to get better. And once he gets back into the rotation, this could be a very dangerous team, like we've talked about. And they have overcome a lot of adversity already in this first month and a half of the season. And the schedule is going to be a lot tougher coming up. I mean, they've got this next tournament, this Winterfest shootout. They've got Gordonsville tomorrow, and the winner of that will play the winner of Morristown West. And why I bring that up, Morristown West and White County, because here's the deal: not only could they play Morristown West tomorrow, or Saturday rather, when the tournament continues, they play Morristown West already on the regular season schedule in January.
Mm,
Excuse me, Morristown West comes to us. So, I mean, we've got a loaded schedule. We've got a return trip to Catholic that takes place on a
mm.
Saturday. We've got a rematch with Austin East. They're going to be wanting some revenge after
Oh
that
man.
first game. You've got round two against Bearden on the road, and we haven't even talked about the rest of the district schedule, which includes 2 games against William Blunt, 2 games against Hardin Valley, 2 games against Farragut, 2 games against Maryville, who's kind of been a thorn in our side. And so I say all that is that there is a lot of basketball coming up against some pretty big teams. And it's going to be interesting to see how we get through this schedule and get ready for when those tournaments happen in February. What are your thoughts so far, Two Pair, on not only how the team has looked at this point, but this daunting schedule coming up that is not going to be easy by any means?
Man, I really like the way they get after it early, but my biggest concern is the turnovers and the free throws. I saw them on the first game at the Heritage tournament. Now I did see them at the first game. Now during the Heritage tournament, I just thought Devin was the best player on the court. I thought Jalen was probably right up there. And then I love the way they spread the floor with the law firm of three. Um, I also like the fact that Kalu Fofana is really stepped up coming off the bench with Reese being hurt. and I really love the way Joe Dupree is shooting the ball right now. It's really good the way Garrett Birch when he's on. That's why I said, man, Garrett Birch might be the best shooter in the city, and Jack Keefe is really getting into basketball form. Like the the finger roll layup against Bearden, where he knifed through the defense and takes his own number. Like the dude is fearless, man. Just a true warrior on the floor. Like when Captain Jack is on the floor, he's got that calming presence. But I will say this: Devin is just got to realize, like, he is the absolute best player in the city. Like he's the best player in the city. That's why he was the tournament MVP. It's just him and Kevin have to really impose their will in the paint. They have to impose their will in the paint right now while Reese is on the men. But I'm thinking it could be in MCL, or he could have torn his meniscus. So the timetable, he may be out for the season right now. I don't know. I mean, it's just I want to say it's a meniscus, but I don't know if he'll be back soon, or praying that you know it's not too bad of a tear. You know what I'm saying? Because you really want to see this guy go out with his guys. Like it just seems like last year with Dane Britton going down, and we never got
They just
in
never
that.
found the form.
We never found the
Yeah,
form, and it was
and then when
so.
Birch got hurt, and that
And
sucked
then
too.
then
Yeah,
G
yeah,
gets
Birch.
hurt. You need to get, like,
Yeah,
G stretches the floor, Joe stretches the floor, and Robert Schuler is coming on so strong.
he is. He is.
Like, Robert Schuler reminds me of Mike Maddox. Like
Hmm.
him and Cantanella. Cantanella's hurt. Cantanella's been hurt. But when Cantanella gets back, they remind me so much of Michael Maddox. Like they're
Yeah.
they're in between. They can space the floor. They can get pivotal rebounds. They play defense. Like I love the fact that Robert has the green light to shoot the three. Like as a
Absolutely.
lefty,
Absolutely.
man, he gives you what we missed with Christopher Cowan.
Yeah. And can I throw this out there about Robert? The thing with him too
Mm.
is, and I noticed it a little bit too, even if the 3-point shot is not falling, he's still, you got to respect his shooting ability. And if he can get his defender in the air with a pump fake, drive that ball and lay it up, baby, honestly, because the lane's there for you. When they're spread out, and then here's the thing. And if you drive the lane and somebody rotates over, flip it to Devin. I really believe that every time the offense goes down the floor, they need to set up a play. I mean, listen, if you got a fast break, take it. But if the defense is, if the other team has just scored and you've got to set up your offense and go down there, Devin Martin has to touch the ball. He has got to touch the ball. I'm not saying he shoots it every
He's
time
got
he
to
goes,
touch the
but he's got
ball.
to touch
Yeah.
the ball. He's got to touch the ball because somebody's going to rotate over there and double team him, which means that a shooter is wide open. That means either a three or a shot from the elbow, and you got to knock it down. What I've been so frustrated with our team is they're getting good looks. The shots are there. Birch is hitting it so good. I swear I saw one rim out at the Bearden gym, and I was like, "What the hell is that? Did somebody have a remote control and it
Mm.
jumped back out?" I mean, it looks like it's going in every time,
Every
and
time.
it's like, man,
Every time.
damn tight rims, is what it is, or
I,
whatever.
that's
Like
why I
somebody
say
needs to untight the rim.
if Gary Birch is if Gary Birch gives you 4 threes a game, you just need him at the right time. He's a floor spacer. If Garrett Birch is 4 to 5 threes a game, but you need to have him hit 4 because his 4 threes can bend back, change the float. He's what we call a swing of momentum type player. When he's able to do that, like Joe Dupree, how many back breaking threes has Joe Dupree hit as
Yeah,
as a West rebel. The
yeah.
Central knows him by name. Like those Central games, they really try to play defense on Joe. Joe was on the news, and all you heard is Dupree for three.
Yeah,
That's
and what
all
about
you
him against
heard.
Hardin Valley? Hardin Valley last year, he lit up that gym at West. We were at that game. It was a makeup game and so forth when the
Like Joe
Snowmageddon happened.
Dupree,
I'll
Joe
tell you this
Dupree,
right
that
now.
law firm of three that you coined one of the best high school trio nicknames. The law
Yep,
firm of three.
three.
Schuler,
Yep,
Birch, and Dupree.
and Dupree. Yep, exactly.
Oh
So
man,
yeah,
that is
and here's the
crazy.
thing too. Even with if Reese can make it back, that'd be amazing. But if Reese can't make it back, this team is still talented enough that can I just throw this number out there too, pair, and you can see it in the box score. There's a quarter that's a little lackadaisical. And the problem is it's not the rotation. Coach E's doing a phenomenal job with who he's playing. It's there's a
Mm,
lack of focus, and you're not making the free throws like you said. If you
yeah.
knock down your free throws and are making these easy baskets, there is no reason why you should not average 20 points a quarter, which puts you at 80. And here's the magical number. When they've reached over 70, they're undefeated. When they haven't gotten to 70, the record's like 2-2, 3-2. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. The point I'm trying to make is that if they can do what they need to do and clean up that, and they're averaging 20 a quarter, nobody can touch them. No, not
Mm,
at least not in this area, in my opinion. Their defense has been phenomenal at times. I mean, I really feel this is a better defensive team than last year's was.
yeah, I
And
do
the
too.
thing
I
is,
feel like that.
the refs have been a little weird with the calls. But if they play defense, you look at a guy like Malik, great defender. I mean, he
Oh,
was all
absolutely.
over the place
Absolutely.
against
Malik
Fulton
Wilson
in the
is a
middle.
hell of a defender.
The minute you put him on their best player, if he's playing with his feet and the refs are going to let him play his defense, he's going to shut down that opponent, honestly, and somebody else is going to have to
He
take
wins
him
this
down.
matchup
And that's what
9
I'm
out of
saying.
10 times.
I'd say even the same for Jack Keith. I mean, all 5'8" of Jack Keith. I'm 5'8", but Jack Keith, man, will mix it up with anybody, despite how tall he is and so forth. I mean, he
And he's
just
had some
just
phenomenal
like he was a
plays,
linebacker.
though.
Yes,
He's
he
had
has,
some
and his 3-point
phenomenal.
shot is falling. Like yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a weapon because you're going to need him out there for that. I mean, if he can give you anywhere from 5 to 10 points a game off the bench, that's huge, especially with Reese out right now. Honestly, and here's the other thing too. With this tournament, that starts tomorrow in Sevier County, I really hope that not to disrespect any of the other teams that are here because that's awesome that they're all getting a chance to play.
Oh,
They're all going to
absolutely.
just get
Yeah.
better in
We're
their
all
respective
about it.
districts and everything. Yeah, but I really would love for West to get another shot against Sevier County at Sevier County on Monday night for this title. We have to take care of business against Gordonsville and obviously the winner of Morristown West and White County for Saturday's game. But I would love that opportunity to take on Sevier County because I think we left one out there. And if we can
Yeah.
get that one back and have another tournament win going into what you're about to face in January, yo is what I gotta
Yo.
say.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yep,
I agree
for
wholeheartedly with
sure,
that. No, that's
for
no,
sure.
for real. That's huge. If that happens, man, we looking like a whole different ball club. Because I feel like they need to
Mhm.
avenge. That's the one you need to avenge. Because
Yeah,
I
because we're gonna
didn't
take
look.
care of Beard. We're gonna take care of Beard. Yeah, but yeah, that one we gotta revenge. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to avenge that one. More so because a lot of it has to do with football. More than anything, it has to do with football.
It does.
Oh
It does.
man,
It
yeah.
it does.
I mean, now it's a rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's a
It
rivalry.
wasn't.
Now
It
now
wasn't.
now
It wasn't before, and now it's
now,
a
now, now, now
rivalry.
now you got our attention. Now you got our
Oh
attention.
yeah,
So okay, gotcha.
now it's a rivalry. Yeah, like Sevier County, it's a rivalry now. Like
It is.
it's
It
it's
is.
a rivalry now. Like and the thing is, like, I hope you guys understand that it's a rivalry now because
Mhm.
we look at you guys now as the team that's trying to stop us to get whatever we're trying to get. And it's so surreal because PJ Burden's daughter plays on the girls basketball team and she's phenomenal. And and
Yeah,
and
she
and,
was.
it, and, I, and it's just like watching PJ Burden. I remember losing to them dudes in the region and just sitting in the stands like we just lost to Sevier County in the regionals.
Hmm.
Like
They
this
were
stopped
good
the
across the
best. It
board.
was one of the biggest runs West ever went on,
Yeah,
and all
and they
we had to
stopped our run
do,
in football too. I mean, they
yeah,
they kind of been a thorn in our side, and
they.
now
That's
they're
why it's a
starting to
rivalry.
get
Sevier County and
yeah.
West is a rivalry. It
Hmm.
is a true rivalry now.
Yep, for sure. So, well, they got our attention, and to kind of transition from the West stuff, we got to talk about it because we will talk about wins and losses for all the teams we cover. And I can't think of, I really want your opinion on this. And I hope Shane will bring it next week because I really want to see what he has to say about this. But we got to talk about it. The first round of the playoffs happened. Tennessee brought a contingent of Vol fans. I mean, they took over
Oh
Columbus
man,
restaurants,
yeah.
restaurants. They were orange all throughout that scarlet and gray in that stadium. Game day was more Tennessee. They even made a comment that there's more visiting fans for this game day than anyone else. And you got to think about it. Game day's been on the air for 30 years now, since '94 when they
Mm-hmm.
did that Florida State. Actually, it was '93. It was the Notre Dame Florida State game. 1 versus 2 was the first ever live show of College Game Day. But here they were. Tennessee had every opportunity to, maybe, take one from Ohio State on the road. And I mean, within a blink of an eye, two pair, it was 21-0. And I never
Mm-hmm.
want to speak badly about the Vols, but they looked outmatched. They looked slow. They couldn't contain the edge. This Jeremiah Smith that went to Ohio State, that's just a true freshman, was all over
You
the
know,
field. And
I,
wow,
hey,
I mean,
Stallion,
yeah.
I have a song for how I felt against Ohio
Please
State.
play it.
Can I play it? Can I
Please
play
play
it?
it.
Can I
Yes,
play it?
please
Can I
play
play
it.
it?
This is what
It
this is
started
all
out like
about.
this.
So
Let me. Oh, let me.
I can't wait to hear this.
Oh,
The
it's pretty
suspense is
bad.
killing me right now. So
Let me make sure I got it queued up because it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, man. Um, it's
is this
so
Dora the
bad.
Explorer backpack song or whatever? Like,
No, it's bad.
man.
It is so bad. As soon as I heard it, let me turn that on. I think it's connected. All right, here we go.
Oh, oh.
So this song is about Ohio State and Tennessee. You want to play this?
This is Miss Anita Baker. I already hear it. It's Miss Anita Baker.
Anita Baker caught up in the rapture. Like, just one. I'm gonna play it just because.
Oh,
That's how. That's
that's how I feel. Yeah,
like
yeah.
just. I felt about the playoffs too. I'm gonna play it during the playoffs. That, like
Oh, they
literally,
were
that's
horrible.
how I felt.
Oh,
Like it was. How did you know it was
hey,
Anita Baker? Man, you got soul. You knew that was Anita Baker. You got some
you know
soul.
me,
You knew
baby.
that.
Come on now. I got a good
Stallion.
range of music, so
Stallion.
come on.
You were saying you been playing Anita Baker.
Ah, well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this, brother. My mama got me. My mama got me into Anita Baker and Sade and all
Word.
that back in the day.
Oh
So yeah,
man.
my mama's
Okay.
the reason for the music. So yeah,
The
in the
Anita
'80s and everything.
Baker.
But no, but that sums it up because I mean, here's the thing, man. They were there for you, and
Yeah.
my Facebook post got so many likes. I said, Tennessee, the fans showed up. Why didn't you? I mean, what the hell was that?
Ooh.
What did you do for
But
3 weeks getting ready? Because they were ready to fight, man. They were ready to fight Ohio State Vols
it,
fans. So
and my thing was,
Apollo Creed versus Drago.
why are we doing single coverage? Why is there not help over the top? Like our
Oh
cornerbacks are not. I mean, don't get me wrong, McCoy played, you know what I'm saying, phenomenal. He's had an All American year, but just the misreads, the missed tackles, the getting beat out in space, like the Tennessee, like the Ohio State played that game as if their coach was going to be fired if they lost.
yes. Yeah, I agree with that. And can I throw this out there? Down
Mm,
two offensive linemen off that offense, our defensive line still could not get pressure on them.
bro,
Could not Will
where was the pressure?
there was none, man. There was none. And credit to Chip Kelly. He had a phenomenal game plan. My question is, why didn't y'all do that shit against Michigan? I mean, I think we
That's
were
what I'm
better than
saying.
Michigan. What the hell was
Because
that? I mean, dude,
my theory is this: they didn't do any of that against Michigan.
no.
So I didn't think that Ohio State was capable of that because they didn't show that throughout the season. And
Mhm.
Tennessee showed me that. Now, I'll tell you what happened. Dylan Sampson not really
Ooh.
playing in this game when you don't have the best player in the SEC, the best running back in the country, who I think is the best running back in the country. As much as Ashton Genty is doing what he's doing, look what Dylan Sampson did against the best competition in America. He was the best
Mhm.
of the best. He broke a record that it stood almost 95 years at the University of Tennessee, and this man put the team on his back. And then you're asking Nico to do what he's supposed to do without having that talent, that power back, that guy who's had 100 yards in almost every single game that he's played in. You're asking him to now you're wanting to see a Heisman candidate quarterback. I don't. That ain't the way Tennessee operates. It's a
Mhm.
balanced offense that depends on the running game, and when you're forcing Nico to become one dimensional, this is what you get. This is what WTF.
Mhm,
This
and
is
can
the
I throw this out
WTF.
there too?
Oh,
And what
absolutely. Go
about
ahead.
this? You're asking the offensive line that was basically your running offensive blocking. I mean, they did when they needed to throw the pass, they used it. But then you're asking them to be a pass blocking first. And you had some guys out there that just looked so bad against Ohio State's defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just terrible out there. And realistically, you have that. And then we were waiting for it. We had said it all year. These slow starts are going to kill us. Luckily, we had overcome that. Alabama didn't have that authentic of an offense like they traditionally do. Florida screwed up in the red zone. You know, there were the Kentucky game, the Mississippi State game. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, they'd weathered the storm and won, you know, and got it together. You couldn't against a team like this in an environment like it was. And you know, some people can point to the cold, but realistically, man, both teams had to play in it, you know? And you know, all I saw was the people that cover the Vols on Twitter showed the team coming out there without their shirts on and showing like they were like the polar bear plungers or something like that. It wasn't the weather, guys. I mean, it was just you just were not up to the task of playing a team that had man they had a killer look in their eye, man. They were killers and they
They
wanted
were.
to bury you, and that's what they did. I mean, it's like a Drago versus Apollo Creed fight, you know. And honestly, I look at this, I look at Tennessee, and it's like, where does Tennessee go from here? Because obviously what Josh Heupel has done in 4 years is phenomenal, guys. I mean, listen, I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat, but the thing is you had 3 weeks to prepare for that. And you knew what they were going to do. You knew what
Three
guys they
weeks.
had. And, you
Three
know, yes,
weeks.
Samson getting hurt or his availability, your
Mm-hmm.
game plan should have been something different. You should have kept it short. You should have,
Absolutely.
if they're an aggressive defense, do some passes to the running backs. I don't know what you guys were doing, but I felt bad for the Vol fans that spent a lot of money for tickets and travel and everything like that. And realistically, it's like, now you know what you have to address in this offseason. I mean, you got people still transferring from teams to pair, that are even, in the playoffs. And these there's going to be something out there, and you need to get speed on the edge. You cannot let
Mm-hmm.
a team like Ohio State beat you like that. Yes, Ohio State's not your traditional Big Ten team. They're built like an SEC team, but when Ohio State's gone up against SEC teams prior to that game, they've gotten their ass handed to them every time. We dropped the ball
Mm-hmm.
in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought our schedule had prepared us for them. I mean, look at Indiana. They got absolutely smoked by Notre Dame.
Absolutely smoked.
Don't let that final score even look. I was wrong about Cignati, okay? I'll admit that right now. But my God, I mean, yeah, you made the score look great at the end, but they absolutely obliterated you and controlled that game and were just toying with you. Same with the Texas
Yep.
Clemson game, man. Like
Oh my God.
Texas left some points out there. Texas should have won by 4 touchdowns against Clemson. And then you look at
Mm-hmm.
the Penn State SMU game, that thing was over in the first quarter, too.
It
So
was a
what I'm
snooze
saying is
fest.
it was a snooze fest is what it was.
Snooze
I mean,
fest.
and realistically, some people were saying, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, Trooper. People were saying, "Oh, well, maybe they should go back to 8 teams." No, 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 no.
No, 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 no,
What
no,
your
no, no, no,
problem
no.
was, committee, is no, your committee. Here's the thing. Tennessee belonged to be there. Okay, they did.
Yes.
The other three,
Yes.
I don't give a damn if they won their conference or what. You did not look at the eye test. Miami should have been there with their offense. Colorado should
Absolutely.
have even been there with
But
Shador and Travis.
those teams gotta
We
win
Ole
though.
Miss.
Those teams gotta
They
win
gotta
though.
win. They gotta
They
win.
gotta
They gotta
win.
win. But if
They
you
gotta
wanted
win.
some sexy matchups, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Alabama,
Miami,
man,
Colorado. Miami,
yes,
Colorado would have
yes.
been
I
a
mean,
sexy matchup.
yes, yes.
Miami,
And I also think
Colorado.
Tennessee should have even been at home. So,
But you know
I
what though?
thought Tennessee should have been.
Miami, Colorado would have been epic. Think of how
Would have been
epic a
epic.
Miami, Colorado game would have been. I don't, but
I mean, you
see,
have three guys
Miami and
that are
Colorado
allegedly
didn't
world
handle
prospects.
business. If
They
Miami
didn't
and
handle business.
Colorado, if Miami, but this is what you know what it sounded like.
More Anita Baker. It's like Steph Curry recording, or Harden and Steph Curry recording in the studio a few years ago in that commercial.
But no, that's what it feels like, man. Like
It does feel.
that's what it feels like. I really think it was such a snooze fest because I like the notion of 12 teams, but
Hmm.
if that's the case, you're saying that the top four conference winners get automatic bids. Like they get the automatic. So I'm gonna put this out there. If Arizona State shows me they're better than what I think they are, prove me wrong. Like
Hmm.
I really think that could happen. But there's a sense of me saying does Boise State really have a chance at winning the national title?
No, I think Boise State is going to get probably beaten. I mean, if the matchups are how I think they are, isn't it Texas taking on Arizona State? If I'm not mistaken, I think Texas is
Texas
taking on
is
Arizona
Arizona
State.
State.
So Texas is going to win that one. I think that Notre Dame and Georgia is going to be interesting from a standpoint that Beck is out. Now, maybe this young
Yeah,
kid's a slinger, but
Gunner.
we'll see what
Can
happens there.
Gunner
That's
can
probably the
Gunner
most
can
competitive
Gunner
game.
be the Gunner? Can Gunner
Yeah.
be the
But I
Gunner?
just think Penn State will I think Penn State will do to Boise what they did to SMU. To be fair, I really believe that. And realistically, Oregon, Ohio State. If Ohio State plays the way they did, I don't think Oregon wins. I think Oregon is not was not done any favors getting Ohio State as their eighth seed. I think that that was an injustice to a team that did go undefeated and went number one. And you're going to reward them with that, in the Rose Bowl and so forth. And traditional Big Ten, Pac-12, because I know Oregon's now the Big Ten, but they were the Pac-12 darling for many years. So, I mean, I'm just saying that I think that with a gun to my head, it's Ohio State, Penn State, Texas, and I'll say Georgia moving on with and I think it's probably going to be Ohio State versus Texas for the national championship. I think Texas will get Georgia in the third try if they play this time. I think
Yeah.
Texas will get them this time. But my point is that it's just very intriguing that let me ask you this too, Perry. Yes, Miami and Colorado should have
Mhm.
taken care of business. Some could argue the same for Ole Miss and Alabama. Do you think
I think
any
if
of
those
those four
if they take
teams
care of business, I think
do
if
they
those
do better?
schools take care of business,
Yeah, do they do
yeah,
better than SMU, Clemson? Oh, I'm not even going to throw
yeah,
Tennessee in this out
I think
in this
Miami
equation,
does.
but I'm just saying,
Miami
does
just
do those
it.
schools? Yeah,
Miami losing to Georgia Tech, understandable. Miami losing to Syracuse, no, that's not
horrible. No,
understandable.
and you blew a 21-0 lead. You blew a 21-0 lead. You deserve to not go
21
anywhere. I mean,
nothing
when you
lead,
when you're up
like
21-0, you should keep pouring it on, man, and got outscored 42-17 the rest of the game. So, I mean, I'm just saying that but the same could be said. Ohio State proved me wrong. Here I was last week saying, "Who have you beaten to show that you were there?" And damn, they beat us like a drum. And they're
mm,
looking like probably the favorite now. I mean, they are looking like the favorite, in my opinion. And realistically, Oregon's defense won't be able to contend that, and they better be able to score.
Chip Kelly. It's
Yeah,
like I think Chip Kelly just got dialed in.
he did. He
Like,
did.
you know what I'm saying? Nothing against Tim Banks. But Chip Kelly just exposed that defense of Tennessee's, man. He really did. Like there were so many holes and gaps and just players out of position. It was just like a track meet, and it just looked like Ohio State just moved a little bit faster. It looked like they just
Yep.
were a lot quicker. And it's like we
They
had 3
look.
weeks to prepare, and
Mm,
what
no,
was the
and can I say
preparation
this?
like?
They looked like the $20 million team that they spent on coaches, players, recruits, transfers. And so
$20
my
million
question
dollars.
is it might pay off for him. It might pay off for him. And I they when Michigan won last year, I'm not talking about the head to head, but when Michigan won the national championship, pocketbooks came out because Ohio State was not going to take that lying down. And love them or hate them, they are in a very good position to win this whole damn thing. They really
They
are.
are.
Now,
They really
I
are.
say
I ain't gonna lie.
I
I think it could be Ohio
I think
State, Georgia. I think we're on
yeah,
the
I mean it
collision
could be.
course.
Oh yeah, yeah. And here's the thing. It's like, we saw what happened the last time Ohio State and Georgia played. It took a missed field goal and that Georgia team was phenomenal.
Noah
And
Ruggles has
that
never
was
been able to show his face in Columbus. Noah
I mean, I'm
Ruggles.
just saying that
Damn.
was the national title game, if I remember correctly. I mean, nobody
It
cares
definitely
about
was.
TCU and Georgia the next week. That was horrible. But what I'm
Hmm.
getting at is my question to you is to pair if Tennessee needs to address offensive line, get a big time wide receiver that can help Nico. Same with the running game.
Yeah.
If you don't have it on the roster, get them checkbooks out because these guys, there's no loyalty anywhere, baby. There
Oh
isn't.
no. Oh no 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 no
I
no no.
watch,
Program
I watch.
tradition is out the window.
Yeah, yeah. And let me just tell you this to just go off of it. I watched a man who loved coaching basketball, who made Miami Hurricanes something out of nothing, resign today before even the season is midway through. And he said somebody else can handle this new age of basketball. The
It's
man
not
lost
basketball
eight
anymore.
players. The man lost 8 players off of a Final Four team from 2 years ago
From two
because
years
people weren't
ago
happy with an NIL. All right,
with an NIL
it's
deal.
destroying this stuff, and I think it's a good segue
Joe
into this.
Larinaga got
Uh,
Miami to a Final Four, bruh.
to a
Joe
Final Four with
Larinaga
two ACC championships, too. Not
with two
Carolina,
different
not Duke.
with two
Yes.
different eras. With
Hmm.
two different eras almost though.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And maybe one NBA player on both
Shout out to
rosters.
Joe Larinaga, man. God bless your life, man. Like Joe Larinaga,
Yeah.
the George Mason years got
Yeah.
him this big job at Miami, and
Yep.
dude, he two ACC titles and a Final Four. Like that is
And a Final
that is
Four.
some of your favorite coaches haven't done that yet. Like some of
No,
your
no.
favorite
And the guy,
coaches.
yeah, and so he just walked away and is going to spend time with his children and grandchildren and his wife
Awesome.
because realistically, like, why should he have to worry about, worrying about a bunch of prima donnas that haven't done anything to earn anything? That's the
Right.
sad part about it and so forth. And
Right.
I wish old Jim the best or what have you. Jim, is definitely one of those great ones. And I guess my segue to this is here
Mm-hmm.
you have our beloved Vols basketball team number one in the country.
Number
Got a game
uno.
coming up. Uno, yeah,
Beat beat
and
beat
yet,
MTSU.
yep, beat
It was
MTSU.
beat a good MTSU, beat a very good Illinois team.
Yes,
Got a game against Norfolk State coming up, and
yep,
you're the number one team in the country, and then you do this.
yeah. You get this guy leave. He leaves. I don't care if I'm getting playing time or not. Two pair. I'm not leaving the number one team in the country in the middle of the season, man. It's like Cartman in South Park. Screw you guys. I'm going home. I mean, that's what that was.
It's
Okay.
like, what do you expect this gonna happen? Like, you're not getting better,
No.
Cameron. Like, look at a guy like Jay Gainey. Jay Gainey has waited his turn, and Jay Gainey has been an incredible bright spot. Look at Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at all these other guys. Like Cameron Carr. Are you gonna? You think you need to be playing ahead of Chaz Lanier? You think you need to be playing ahead of Zakai Ziegler? You think you need to be playing ahead of um who am I forgetting?
No, I think you've named everybody you need to name. He's not better than any of those people.
He's
He's
not better
not.
than those guys.
And
Jemai
here's the thing,
Meshack.
dude. I
Does Cameron Carr play better defense than
Hey,
Jemai Meshack?
no, no, no,
Jemai Meshack
no.
is probably the best defender in the country, and
Hmm.
he's playing on Tennessee's team. You think you're
And
gonna play in front of that?
well, and
Him?
think about this. Think about this,
Come
two
on,
pair. The
Cam.
fact is, look
I
at the
mean Cameron
job that.
Carr.
Well, but look at the job that Rick Barnes is doing. He lost potentially the rookie of the year and three other guys that were solid players for this team for a couple of years. And I'm telling you this, I know that it's still early. It's going to be a brutal SEC schedule. But if somehow he navigates another SEC regular season championship or, has them in a position to make a deep run in not only the SEC tournament, but also the NCAA tournament, how can Rick Barnes not be SEC Coach of the Year? How could he not with this with who he had to replace and how he had to do it with? And this prima donna leaves or what have you, and it's
You
like
left the number
the
one
number
team
one
in the
team. Are you
country.
kidding me? Are you
You
kidding
left the
me right
number
now,
one.
man?
You left the number one team in the country.
Yeah,
Like, bro, that's
there's some
real
soul
selfish,
cracking, man.
bro. Like,
There's some self.
if there's something that you can't handle internally, you should have been talking to the coaches.
Hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I've seen one of my best friends, uh, Cam Tatum. I seen the guy persevere. Like, all of the stuff that happened during Cameron Tatum's tenure at UT, and for him to persevere through that and have a great senior year, like a guy like Cameron Carr, you could take some notes from a guy that who had to battle within Scotty Hobson playing in front of him,
Hmm.
competing with a JP Prince or a Josh Tab on the wing. You know what I'm saying? Guys that were in front of him, and for him to
Hmm.
stick it out, and he's one of those guys that you remember on that Conzo first year team that got that big win against Vanderbilt in the Tommy Bowl, is because a guy persevered. Cameron, you got to persevere through whatever you got going on, because you left your team high and dry. You left the number one
Hmm.
team high and dry. And it's just
Yeah.
like, damn, dog, like kids look at that. Did you see the kid that got the Cameron Carr jersey for Christmas?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't
You didn't
actually.
see this?
No, I
Oh
didn't see
man.
this.
Oh man. So
I'll have
there's
to
a
look this up.
kid. Oh my god, look it up. Now look, I
Wow.
don't want to say any ill will to anybody, but
Hmm.
James, the kid is holding the Cameron Carr 43 jersey and says, "Thanks for ruining my Christmas."
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, man, Cameron is not a bad guy.
No,
He's a
no.
great kid.
Yeah.
He's a great kid, but damn, I can't.
Yeah.
It's something that's got to be going internally with you for you to leave the number one team in the country. It just is
And Rick Barnes
baffling to me.
and Rick Barnes, when asked about it by the media, he said he didn't give me an explanation. He just left. Rick doesn't have any reason to lie about it. I mean,
Yeah,
most
like,
coaches would do the political thing and be like, well, he's taking some time away from basketball. He's got some business to handle. He didn't even get that from the kid. He just walked. And here's the other thing too, what's even more interesting. I look at this Jim Larinaga situation. Jim Larinaga, 75 years old. Rick's up there.
mm,
I mean, you look at the landscape of college basketball. Two pair. We were talking about how bad the ACC is now in basketball. Think about this, okay? In the last since 2021, this is the coaches they've lost. Roy Williams retired. Mike Krzyzewski retired. You've got Tony Bennett. Love him or hate him and think he was boring. He still was a national championship coach. Quit before the season. Okay,
yeah, he
he
quit
was
before
gone
the
before the
season.
year. You know, I mean Jim Boeheim. Of course,
Jim
there was a lot of
Boeheim.
things
Yep.
kind of going on, but still Boeheim, is gone. My point is that the coaches in the ACC are really and now Larinaga. I mean,
Oh,
that
Rick
is some big
Pitino.
time name.
Rick
Rick
Pitino.
Pitino. There are some big time names that are no longer in this conference of the ACC, and you wonder why they've suffered. They're not very good with who they've replaced them with. But
Mm,
but I say this, who else is going to walk away from this new landscape of basketball because they don't want to navigate this NIL? You don't even know who's
yeah,
going to be
it's
on
a
your
changing
team
of the guard,
anymore.
man.
You know,
It's a
it
changing of the
is a
guard.
changing of the guard. Now, Dan Hurley has figured something out up in Connecticut. He's younger. He's got the patience. But you
Hmm.
look at some of these guys like, I mean, credit to Rick Barnes. I don't want Barnes to leave, but, father time is father time. I mean, but the
Right.
thing is they're going to, I mean, I look at him. I look at a Bill Self at Kansas. I look at Izzo over at
Yeah, Bill
Michigan
Self.
State. I mean, these guys are the older guard. And I really wonder how much more they've got in them because I just don't think Michigan State can compete with the other blue bloods in terms of money to shell out. By the way, I just don't see it. I just really do not see it. And the thing is that I mean there are some big names out there that are still coaching and they're young, but the thing is that is that what they really signed up for? To deal with who gets paid the most, make sure that they're getting playing time because of some NIL deal you inked. I mean, these are things that really the NCAA really dropped the ball on. And I don't think there's any recovering back from this because you're going to have a kid 2 years from now say, well, why don't I get that opportunity? That guy did. Why is there a cap now of how many times I can transfer? Why is there a cap now on how much money I get, in my provisions? These are things that they allowed, and they've ruined the sport. Honestly, they've ruined the sport. I always said kids should gotten paid, but the thing is that there's loyalty, and there's no loyalty anymore. There's dollar signs now. I mean, it's incredible. It really is. So, I mean, I see it, honestly, basketball is just as bad as football. If you've got a situation where you got a guy leaving the number one team in the country, the number one team, this isn't even anything like, oh, the season's over, the hell with this team. And no, you're the number one team in the country. Bracketology right now, the number one seed in the Midwest, going with a path of Lexington to Indianapolis, potentially. That's what you left right now. Just crazy to me too, Bear. Just crazy.
It's crazy, man. It is.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
is
for
really
sure.
crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this, bud. Reflecting back because we've had a great show, and shout out to anybody that was watching. Would love that chat box to be up tonight. I guess some people because we're not on our regular night.
Holidays, yeah.
Holidays, we're not on our regular night. We'll probably get some love on this recorded, but I want everybody to show up next week because we're going to talk a lot of stuff. But you want to know something to reflect back on our 1 year. I think of, I would say one of my all time kind of favorite shows was not only the interviews, Big O, Terry Maples, Michael Lynn,
Mm,
Coach Brown, TJ Blakely, the mayor of
the
Maynardville, for
mayor of
goodness sake, you know,
Maynardville.
I mean, Nathan Cottrell, Ryan Perry, Coach Giles, a link to the 94 team,
Yeah.
Coach Brown, I've already mentioned. Hope we can get Coach Graves and Coach Eon and some of the other coaches. Paul Romero giving us the time. The interviews were phenomenal. But I also want to give some love to some of the shows we did that were hard for us to do, like
Oh
the
man.
tribute to Jason Day. The tribute to Jason
Jason
Day.
Day.
He
Yeah.
ain't with us, and luckily we've not had to do one of those shows, and I
Tim
just hope we don't have
Thomas.
to do it. Tim Thomas. I just hope we don't have that. Everybody, just take care of yourselves. Love one another.
Mm,
If you reach out to somebody and hey, how are you doing? Is everything good in your life? Because you don't know what's going on in their life, and that little "how are you" could solve so many things that you have no idea about. And realistically, I just have felt that this show has, like you said, brought the alumni back together, in terms of just in a
mm,
way of, hey, look, did you catch them, and they're cool dudes, and everything like that, and just bridged and make sure that this is a true One West, and to invite
mm.
the former players back in any of their respective sports to and look at those facilities. I mean, the campus is just gorgeous when you catch
Man, it's a
any type of
beautiful
game,
school.
softball, baseball. Shout out to the baseball coaches. They got something really brewing over there, and I can't wait to see it in the spring. The gym is like a brand new gym, big screens,
Really
I
nice.
mean, and shout out to George Ewer and Dead End Barbecue for all they do. They're one of the biggest contributors to West High School there off of Sutherland Avenue. I mean, I just love driving down Sutherland Avenue because you see those W signs, the One West and everything, and go West and best of luck this year, West. I mean, it really is such a wonderful community, and I'm so glad that this podcast highlights that because it doesn't go unnoticed, man. The love does not go unnoticed. I'm telling you, so for sure.
Yeah, it does not, man. It's super dope that we get to, bro. Like we really get to cover our alma mater and then other area high
Mhm.
schools and things that's going down. Like I ran into Kevin Lane and his wife, a rebel, a
Yep.
former
Shout out to
rebel,
Nicole. Shout out to
Nicole
Nicole
Johnson
Johnson.
Lane, Nicole
Yes,
Johnson
man.
Lane. and it was so cool seeing him. And as y'all know, Brian Tate Jr. plays for Bearden Middle School,
Oh yeah, let me get
and
that up real
this
quick. Shout out to
kid
them. Shout out to Tinian
is
Reed. Shout out to Tinian Reed's son. He's on that team. So or
he's
she's
on
on it.
that
Yeah, her
team.
son's on that. Yep.
Like the Bearden Middle School winning the chip. Did they win the
Yep.
middle school championship?
They cut down the nets and everything, and I only learned about it by Tinian Reed. And I asked her, I said, "How many of these kids come into West?" She said, "All the eighth graders are." I was like, "Well, sign them up, damn it, Coach E will get them going. Let's go."
So
So
yeah,
shoot.
man, Brian Tate Jr. Man, this kid is man, he's just phenomenal. And his mother, Mahogany, we joke all the time. I'm like, why does everybody keep asking me, do I have a son that goes to Bearden Middle School? I'm like, I don't have any kids, man. And lo and behold, this young dude, I seen him and he looked at me and I'm like, hey man, everybody says that I'm your father. And he's like, yeah, 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 man, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, yeah, 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 my dad said you played it West. Because his dad played at Fulton. And it's the other
Okay.
Brian Tate. He's like early 90s. Yeah. I'm the other Brian Tate. I'm the West Brian Tate. Yeah,
Oh, I love
man.
it.
Dude,
I love
dude, this kid, he's so phenomenal. Because everybody kept saying Brian Tate Jr., Brian Tate. I'm like, who's Brian Tate Jr.? I'd like to see this kid. They keep saying, bro,
I need to
this
shake this kid's hand and see
Brian
for
Tate
sure.
Jr. I love the fact that he's at every West game, and I will do my best to make sure. And it's funny because his sister Micaiah
Uh-huh.
plays on the girls team at West.
Oh, okay. So
And
so
you
here's the thing.
and then you remember
I've always
Brianna Tate, Bree Tate played at
I do
West.
remember that. Yeah.
Bree was great. She
Yes.
was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was.
She was a problem.
I'm I'm already envisioning whatever nickname you have for him. And I've got to get like a full video crew to get this because it's just
The
the
prodigal son.
possibilities. Yes, the possibilities right now have me giddy, and this is like a couple
The
years away.
prodigal son has
Uh,
returned.
oh, I will be front row with popcorn. Do they serve popcorn at the concession stand?
You
Because
know
I
what I'm
may.
gonna. You know what I'm gonna. He's gonna be called my godson, the prodigal
Hmm.
son, the
I love it.
prodigal
I love
son,
it. The prodigal son. I love
the
it. So
prodigal
yeah,
son of Brian
I love.
Tate,
I love it.
the
You know,
prodigal son.
how funny would it be if there is a James Freeman out there that does come to West and plays
Oh
football
my
or
God,
whatever?
you will
I
never
would,
hear the end of
and it ain't
this. You will
mine.
never hear
No,
the
it
end.
ain't mine. I
You will
ain't guilty of this
never.
one.
You will
So,
never hear the
oh,
end of this. I'm gonna be using
oh
all this
no,
material. Oh man, but see, I got four. I got
Stallion
four.
Junior,
I got
like you know,
4 years. I got 4 years with
yeah,
Brian Tate Jr. And it's gonna be
you
the
do.
best 4 years of my life because he's a phenomenal athlete in football, basketball. This kid is he can write his own ticket. I
Yep,
it,
yep.
this is how I know how good he is. When Kevin Lane says, "Yeah, is your son coming to Central?"
No, 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 no. He's a rebel. He's a W,
Is
baby. He's
my
a W.
son coming to Central?
Oh
Oh
God!
man.
Let me tell you this. Rumors of the pipeline drying up, man. It ain't true, man. Because I think we got some players coming into these programs of football, basketball, and any sport they want to play in, and they're going to do some damage. They're going to be the problem. For other
Yeah.
teams, in my opinion, that's what I think. I mean, yeah, but shout out to them for winning the ship, and shout out to Tinny and Reed for who's a good friend of mine there on Facebook, and she keeps me updated. And I just made a joke. I said, "How many of them coming to West? You know, like I want to know who coming to West." And if and you know, and if any of them are even looking at Bearden, I would be more than happy to show you the error of your ways. And no, I'm so kidding. But anyway, the error of your ways because
There of
I
your
had to go
ways.
and mess up and and go and I corrected myself and became a man going to
And
West.
man,
But
look at you
I'm just
now.
no,
Look at you
exactly.
now. Look at you now.
Love you, Beard in high school. Love you, Beard in high school. I'm
No
telling
man,
you. So, but
he
I'm
don't,
I'm
he
just
don't,
saying.
he
I'm just
don't,
saying. Like,
he don't, he don't, he don't. Nah, he do. Nah, for real. Like we've invested so much into the area athletics that we didn't realize by doing this for West, we would get the hospitality that we get at Gibbs, the hospitality we got at Catholic. That we still talk to those parents to this day, and we thank them. You know what I'm saying, for that. Like we got the tailgate with Catholic. We got the experience what Jeff County was like. This year has been phenomenal. Like the basketball games, the Ville tournament. You know what I'm saying? We got to experience
mhm,
that. 5-star preps. Big shout out to y'all. Big shout out to 5-star preps.
mm,
And shout out to Mark Packer, who what I'm saying, you got rivalry Thursday getting off the ground like that. And our goal is to get Friday night hoops the same way. If you got rivalry
yep,
Thursday, you should have a Friday night hoops. And I
absolutely.
feel like that's what we're gonna be doing. We're really gonna get this sports network going. Big shout out to Big Fact Sports Network and 332 Studios, the 33 dose.
The 3-3 dose. Yep. And,
The three
and
three
listen, let me tell you
dose.
this. We've got to get with Romero, and I'll get with him the next home game, which will be very soon next week and so forth. But I almost what I would love to do is we would love to do a high school game day, our live show before that Farragut. Or maybe even after that Farragut West game, like a post game thing, they're in the gym if they'd be willing to give us 20, 30 minutes and then we'd be out of there and have some of those former players join us on set, and just talk. And
Mm.
it would be a fun night, just
West
to
High.
hopefully we
Ooh,
get
that'd be
a W.
nice.
I mean, and it would be
West High
so awesome.
game day.
West High
Let's
game day there.
West High.
So that
Ooh, West High game day pep rally.
that would be amazing. That would be amazing to do.
West High game day pep rally.
Amazing to do. We set it up and have the students get loud, do the Duke thing if they will, do whatever they want to do to get loud or something like that. Do the Duke thing. I don't care. Just be loud
West
and
High,
get loud.
yeah, pep rally.
Yeah.
Pep rally.
So yeah, I mean,
We need
but
to
but
we need to help
honestly,
them do
we
that.
need
Bro,
we need
we're
to. We've
making
got a
high
lot.
school cool for y'all. We were making high school like think about this. Y'all get a podcast, y'all get interviews, you get a game day. Like y'all are in high school at the best time ever. Cause the cool kids are the adults now.
Yep, yep, yep,
The cool
yep. I
kids are
mean,
the adults now.
we are, we are.
We're
So
really making this cool for y'all. Like y'all understand, being Mr. West of class of 2003, people still remember that. Like I'm like, I was Mr. West.
hmm
I guess I carried the flag.
you're the voice of the running rebels and lady rebel. I love saying it every time.
Oh
You're the
man,
voice.
it's
19
crazy.
years, bro. 19 years.
I
I mean,
know. I've seen a lot
and
of
look,
kids.
I was called Stallion. To be called Stallion 20 years after the fact of being in high school or whatever like that, like I used to Stallion. I mean, I thought that guy died, man. I thought that was dead, and it's like it's back or whatever. It's gotten me
Yeah,
back in the
man.
gym,
It's
got me back
like
in shape. I mean, so yeah, so it's
it's
pretty dope.
crazy, right? Like just the way it's like it's changed us in better ways. Like we're more connected to mentoring and helping kids get to college. That was like the overall goal. And it's like now it's gotten bigger. It's gotten bigger than what I thought it would ever be. You know what I'm saying? It's just the backing
Hmm.
by the athletic department and Paul Romero, and the faculty is outstanding. Like shout out to Nate Martin. Like Nate
Yeah,
Martin. Shout
yeah,
out to
yeah.
Nate Martin. You know what I'm saying? Principal Forrester, who I absolutely love. Like Principal Forrester,
She's
I
wonderful.
would I
I
wish
enjoy talking
Principal
to her.
Forrester was at West when we were at West. Like she
Yeah,
is
no,
just it's like she's connected to the youth. Like she gets youth. Like she gets this
Mhm.
generation. I don't know how, like, but she
I
gets this generation.
I'd argue all the principles. I mean, look, I'm
Carruthers,
sure there's some
man.
that have some problems or whatever like that with, but listen, you don't even know what problems are if you mention Barbara Jenkins. But anyway,
Man,
I'm just saying, like, come on,
man,
man. Come on, yo. Shoot. Like,
man.
it's just, I mean, I've even had former teachers even tell me she had she was, I mean, and they were her own faculty saying that about her. So it ain't some
Mm,
kid that's got some grudge or whatever like that. No, I mean, but it's just, I see the happiness there and the camaraderie, and everybody gets along, and it's so wonderful to see. And that's why you see a successful culture and program. That's what you got
mm-hmm.
there. So yeah, said it before. So yeah, great show tonight, man. I know it was
Great show.
kind of late getting started, but I love that we could get it together, especially during the holidays. And episode 55 next week will be 56. And we're gonna obviously talk about how the Rebels did in this last tournament. Get ready for the season coming up. Hopefully get Coach Graves or Coach E on. Anybody that we can get on. We definitely need to get either Coach Petco or Coach Lindsay on the show, hopefully beforehand. And if it has to be a separate interview and not on a show, because you could spend 2 hours us talking to them, record it and put it on the website and have like an extra thing, the interview with Coach Lindsay and an in-depth
Mm.
special about that
Oh
team,
man,
and
man,
everything.
I
I
would
mean, that would be
love to
amazing
get.
if you could do a round table. If you could do a round table show with Petco, Lindsay, and a couple of the guys and us or whatever, because we could have up to 7 people or something like that with this. It would be an incredible round robin. It really would be. So yeah, for
It
sure.
would be
So
dope, man. I would love to get those guys on here, man. Like
yeah.
I would
So
really, really love to get those guys on here,
I
and
mean,
that's
and it
what I'm
would be
trying to
like,
do.
yeah, and it would be like a
Just trying to
25th
get them on
anniversary.
here.
Yeah, 25th anniversary of the
Spencer
one West
Davis,
team. Yes, Troy. I mean, yes. I mean, I know
Troy
Big Mike
Map,
would be down. Yeah, I think Big Mike would be down to be on
M-
again. Doctor was Big
Mike
Mike. So
Maddox, Big Mike.
yep,
Trying to think of
telling
other
you.
man. Alton Thompson. There's a lot of guys. Michael
Yeah,
Maddox, Stewart
there was.
Oaks,
Yep. I mean, there
Andy
was a lot.
Lane,
Andy Lane. So I mean, I'm just saying that I would love to get.
Colin and Tom Carmichael, Stephen Harmon,
Yep, I
Jordan
would love.
Smith.
Yeah, Jordan Smith. Yep. I mean, I would love to get that group, or a couple of them at
It would
least,
be
on
amazing,
for them
man.
to like tell us the stories of what they remember from that, because it wasn't just yesterday. I mean, 25 years is 25 years and so forth. But the fact is we've had some talented West teams since then. And it just is mind boggling to me that we still haven't won a district tournament. And, I know next year we're going to move to a different district and everything like that, but I would love to go out with a bang on this one with who you're going up against. There's something that I want this one for this group, because they left it out there last year. And I think with another chance at it, they're going to get it done this year. Honestly, got to have some breaks go your way, got to get some injuries healed up. But I think if they're together and they believe in one another and the fans keep supporting them, I think they can go very far, Two Pair. I believe that in
Yeah, I do too.
my
I
heart.
do
So,
too.
yeah. Well, listen, close us out. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Please be safe, guys. It ain't worth it out there. Just be safe. Have a good time with whatever you do. And, like I said, I want to wish everybody a very prosperous and happy 2025. But Two Pair, close out our last show of this 2024, please.
Man, it is a great, great honor. We made it here, made it here, and we just got to throw them dubs up. We appreciate everybody that's rolled with us. That's what I'm saying, that's been here since day one. If you're new to the channel, thank you for spending your time to throw these dubs up. And it's been a year and many, many more. We definitely thankful for everyone that is taking their time to even watch it on the playback and telling people, whether you're in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, that you've been watching Rebels with a Cause, like wherever
Louisiana,
you are,
Louisiana
Louisiana,
for Larry
you know what I
Frey. Yep.
mean?
Yep.
North Carolina, a lot of people have tapped into Rebels with a Cause because it's one of the first for high school sports that's dedicated to the West High School, um, running Rebels, Lady Rebels, and all other sports.
Yep.
So, man,
Uh,
hey, love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll see y'all
yeah.
next year.
Absolutely. Rebels out.